Hey, what's going on? This is the Knicks State of Mind podcast. I'm your host, Quis, joined as always by my co-host, Inf. Inf, man, how's everything with you? Yeah, definitely. So in this show, we want to go through and just talk about some potential trades. Also with the chat, you guys can pull up and also mention some trades you think you'd want to go through as well. All right. So Inf, how's the stream looking on your end? All right. So who do you think should be the first player we should try to target? Bradley Bill. So let's pull up the Wizards and let's see. Salute to the chat. Thank you guys for pulling up to the show. You guys can make suggestions in the chat as well as to what targets we should be looking at in this trade. Shout out Kane. Shout out Ermino Benitez. All right. So Bradley Bill, what would it cost us to bring in a Bradley Bill potentially? You know, Bradley Bill's a player I kind of wanted to shy away from because I think it might cost too much. Bradley Bill is a great player, and it's going to cost multiple firsts and I think multiple young assets. And I can see already Kane is saying we should get rid of Alfred Payton. We'll try, but as we all know, it's going to be up to Alfred Payton whether he stays or whether he goes. So, Inf, who are we going to include for a Bradley Bill? So we're going to trade Bradley Bill to the Knicks. Who's going to have to go from us to Washington? So yeah, so let's see what picks we have currently. All right. So we have the possibility of getting the Clippers pick if their pick is higher than ours, which is highly unlikely. So that's probably not going to be of much benefit to us. We still have Detroit's second round pick. We have Dallas's first, and then we have our own first in 21, 22, 23, and 24. So which one do you think is going to take for us to give up? They're probably definitely going to want a first in this year's pick. But then do you want to give up both the Knicks and the Mavs? I mean, do we if we trade and make this deal, we're going to be bringing in Bradley Bill. You think as constituted will be good enough to have a higher draft selection than the Mavs? All right, so let's flip a coin. We'll just say we'll give up the Mavs, try to move past the KP regime. So we're going to trade that first. Let's say we're also going to give up a 2023. We might have to because I think it's going to cost at least three firsts. Let's see. So we gave up 21, 23, and let's say 25. So now what players are we going to have to send over to make the money match? Because that's where the issue is. That's where we're going to have a problem trying to make the money match. Also, just want to say salute to the chat. How we move Knicks TV. Thank you for pulling up. Also, Kane Jerry, we see your comment. You want us to get a wing shooter like Davis Bertans. As we move through the teams, we'll try to, get a nice 3 and D for the team to try to alleviate some of the problems we have with the starting lineup. So now, what are we going to move in order to get Bradley Beal and make the money work? So right now, Bradley Beal is making 28.7 mil. So how do we get close? I mean, we're gonna have to give up something of value. In order for us to get Beal, they're gonna want RJ, don't you think? That's a that's a fact. That's a fact. So let's keep 2023. I like 2023. Let's send that pick all the way into the future. So in order to get the money match, we may have to give up an RJ Barrett. Something I don't want to do, so don't bash me. I really would not like to do that. But if to be realistic, you have to expect that they're going to want somebody to replace Bradley Beal. And it fits because right now they have Rui and they have Avdija. If you want to put Barrett at the three, I mean, put Barrett at the two, then you have Avdija at the three, and then you have Rui then at the four. So you have a nice foundation, a nice core for them. So I'm pretty sure they're going to want RJ. Who else would we have to include? You would think they'd want Kevin Knox. He'd be a backup to Avdija. You think so? You think so? Because look what I'm not saying Bradley Bill is as good as James Harden, but look what the Nets had to give up in order to get James Harden. They gave up four firsts, they gave up three firsts, and the right to swap four other ones. And then they also gave up Caris Levert, Allen. They gave up a lot. Mm, true. So I'm not saying we have to give up the same amount, but they basically gave up the right to 7 first round picks. So 3 first round picks, I mean 2 first round picks and RJ for Bradley Bill, I don't think is outside the realm of possibilities. All right. Derek, you're saying my mic is going in and out? Shout out to the chat. Big Task. Salute to you. Also, salute to M Toast Vids. Make sure you check out his channel. Let me know if there's any audio issues. Give me a heads up. See if I can change anything. Shout out to Roberto Mendez. Thank you for pulling up again. We're going through some mock trades right now. Let me know if you think it would be too much to give up 2 firsts. All right. Let's see. All right. So you really think so? If all right. So right now we have it as 2 firsts in RJ. So we have a 2021 from Dallas. We have the 2025 that's ours, and then we would also include RJ to make the money work. We're gonna have to add some more players as well. All right, let's see. What do we have going over now? Let's see if it'll go through. So right now, I have the trade set up as RJ, Knox, Frank, Nitty, and 2 firsts. You think that'd be too much? I mean, it's not a trade I would do personally, but it says in the trade machine we get 12 wins better. Salute to Robert Paul. Thank you for pulling up to the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Do you think this would be too much to give up? Me personally, I think it's too much. Inf echoes that sentiment as well, but I think this is what it might take in order for us to go and get a Bradley Beal. Especially when you look at some of the other trades that have gone down to start this season when it comes to the Harden trade. And this is why I've said time and time again, I want to stay away from a Bradley Beal trade or any of these large trades because we're going to move on to the Bulls after this for a potential Zach LaVine trade. And I think he's going to fall into the same category. What do you think, Inf? You think? Because I think it's the same thing. Zach LaVine, they want a two to replace the two that they're shipping out of town. So if they gave up Jimmy Butler. And you know, a lot of people would be happy if RJ turns into a Jimmy Butler. So it would make sense if they would want RJ in return. And that's why when I come on the channel, I say time and time again, I don't think this team should be going out there and trying to make some of these major moves. To me, it really is not the right avenue that we should pursue in order to succeed. They can't hear you, Inf? Yeah, chat. Let us know. Are you able to hear Inf? Yeah. It looks like it's good on my end. Mic is off. Let me see. Inf, speak. Let me know if you guys can hear him. Wow. I wonder what's going on. Let's see. They said they thought you were the sign language interpreter today. Let me see if I can get it right. Let's see what's going on here. Still no? Oh, damn. Yeah, right? And I was just now using it. And on my end, it's showing that the audio is picking up. Let's see. We're going to figure this out. Don't worry. I apologize for the technical difficulties. And speak now? Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, true, true. Oh, damn. You lucky you muted. Yeah, let me see. Because I can hear you. I can hear you. That's why I was shocked that the chat couldn't hear you. All right. All right, no problem. So yeah, Inf is gonna continue to use sign language, and if he has any other good points, I'll just echo it. Inf, get your go open up a Google tab and get your sign language on, bro. Cause we gonna be all right. All right. So you said we did Zach LaVine. Any suggestions down in the chat on what other players I should be looking to target? We have some others on the list, but I'd rather focus on some players you guys want us to go after and get. Yeah, Urban Fox gamer, Blake Griffin can't be sent to the Knicks. He just was acquired by the Nets. Andre Drummond. They want to see an Andre Drummond potential trade. All right. Let's go over to Drummond. Okay, so Inf feels like he'd rather go after Cat and then give up Mitch. But we'll do Drummond first. See what it'll cost for Drummond. All right, let's just reset. All right, well, let me reset. All right, cool. So Andre Drummond coming to the Knicks. This is another trade I don't really like because he's on a 1-year deal. Yeah, and I don't like the way he fits with this team, to be honest with you. But we'll see what it'll cost. Let's see. What would we be willing to give up for an Andre Drummond? I'd give up Taj Gibson if all they want is spare parts. Hey, if you're willing to take dirt, take Austin Rivers and Taj Gibson. Could we make that work? And maybe I'll throw in a second to sweeten the deal. You think that'll work? If Anudi said you got a Fisher Price mic. And also Robert Parr is saying Drummond would make it hard for Mitch's playing time. Facts. And I think the biggest thing right there is going to be chemistry. Because how do you go make a trade for Drummond and then tell him to come off the bench? He should have stayed in Cleveland if he was just going to come off the bench anyway for a younger center. All right. What you call it? Roberto Mendez said he'd rather go after a point guard. We're going to do a point guard next. We'll do Drummond, we'll do Cat, and then we'll go after Lonzo. D. Burr is saying empty stats Drummond. No way, no how. Yeah, if you're muted, so whenever I start talking, you can just talk over me. I don't think it'll mess up anything. So let's see if this trade goes through. Nope. We can't get away with giving them spare parts. We got to give something of value. I threw in a second, but the money doesn't match up. So who else would we be willing to give up? Yeah, because Drummond makes a crazy amount of money. So let's see. Yeah, he's too expensive for what we gonna get from him. Give up Nerlens Noel. The trade that they were talking about before was trading Nerlens Noel and Kevin Knox. You think? Let's see. Try trade. No. So we'd have to get to 22 mil. Oh, no, get back. We have to get to 14.5. How the hell? So we'd have to give up something of value, you see? So you guys hear this rumor about Andre Drummond. We'd have to give up some significant value to get this trade to go through. Because it's not like we have a bunch of high earners on the Knicks. We maybe we give Alec Burks. Yeah, 23 Blade. We're having some technical difficulties. So we're trying to power through. If you know sign language, Inf will be on his end trying to communicate in that manner. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so why are the Knicks in conversations? How much would we have to give up? We'd have to give up damn near half the team. They have to give up Alec Burks. Would you? Kevin Love got 3 more years, bro. Chat Inf just said that he would rather go after Kevin Love, and I just said he was set tripping because Kevin Love got 3 more years. Kevin Love injury prone. At least if we go grab Drummond and bring Drummond over, it's only 1 year, but Inf wants to go after Kevin Love. I think defensively we'd be limited with Kevin Love at the 5. Uh, All right, so I used my wizardry to get this trade to go through. Burks, Noel, Knox gets this deal done. What? Yeah, that's why I love the chat, yo. The chat is hilarious, bro. It don't matter what Knicks show you go to, chat is always killing it. All right, so we were able to get this to go through. Chat, do you think this would be a good trade? Burks, Noel, and Knox, regardless of the second round. You can remove the second round. I put that in before I realized we had to add additional money, but I would not go after Andre Drummond after seeing what this trade would cost us. Also, salute the Lex Destroyer. Thank you for pulling up to this live stream. Square 2 God, thank you for pulling up as well. Why would we want Drummond for him to not stay? I don't know. Tibbs has an affinity for veterans. Mm-hmm. See, Chad is saying no way they wouldn't do it. Me neither. I think the next player you guys wanted us to look at was Lonzo. And I think the Pelicans are an interesting team because we can reach out to the Pelicans and not only try to get Lonzo, but we could also try to get JJ Redick. I know a lot of people in chat are saying we could potentially go out and get Jackson Hayes. So I think there's a lot more options and a lot of more flexibility when it comes to negotiating a trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, so now let's go over to the Pelicans and see what we got. Could we? I mean, I like RJ Zion. He has an injury history. I don't know. I'm nervous when it comes to Zion. Players built like that, every time they leap, I get nervous when they hit the floor. Yeah. How we move Knicks TV, Aldridge keys. Yeah, I'll do Aldridge right after we do the Pelicans. How about that? Drummond could be backup center even for next season. Yeah, he could be, but I don't think he wants to be a backup center. You got to remember, Andre Drummond is in a contract year, and he's a player that I think he still looks at himself as a marquee talent. So any team that tries to acquire Drummond, he's going to expect to start because he's playing for money, and he's going to want a large contract. He's used to getting paid 20 some odd mil a year, and most people don't want to see pay cuts. So I'm expecting him to want to be a featured player wherever he does decide to go. That's just how I see it when you look at, the economics of the current NBA. Inf thinks he's going to sign with Charlotte. Yeah, they gave out stupid money to Hayward, but he's been balling, so. You think so? Well, yeah, I don't think, yeah, it's not too many players worth 30 some odd bill in the NBA. So if we do go after Lonzo, I'm going to think it's going to cost maybe a first. I'm hoping it doesn't cost a first, but I think they might hold on for a first. Chat, what do you think? Do you think it'll cost a first for us to actually get Lonzo Ball? Because with the way he's performing right now and him being a marksman and the way he can shoot, I think he could potentially cost the first. You know, if say that one more time. Yeah, if it does cost us a first, though, I don't want to give up any player of value. They can get like a. Say it again, if Alonzo. I don't know if I'd even do that much. Hell, throwing Peyton. Listen, the fact that Peyton is on our team with a no trade contract is a no trade clause is stressful enough. Ron, just a heads up, we having some technical difficulties, so right now we're trying to just power through. We apologize. We try to get everything squared away for the next live stream. But if you want to see Inf do sign language, I think I could get that joke off one more time throughout the stream. I promise that'll be the last one. All right, so we're gonna go after Lonzo. Let's see if it goes through, D. That bird. Rivers knocks in a second. So let's find Rivers. Trade him to the Pelicans. Yeah, I'm wondering when he's gonna come back. Rose, he's off the Rona protocols or whatever, safety precautions. I thought he was. That's the excuse they were saying. Derrick Rose or Peyton? Oh, Rivers. Oh, I think his wife had a daughter or something, or a child, something like that. He's away for personal reasons. So let's see if it'll cost the first. I'm always see the Knicks being so good this season. It's like Russian roulette when it comes to trading draft picks. Should we trade ours? Should we trade Dallas? Because right now Dallas is quote unquote percolating, as Clyde says. So do we trade our first? I mean, do we trade their first, seeing that they're on a hot streak and we have a difficult second half coming up? Who knows? Get them for the boys. We'll see. We'll see. Because you have to look around the landscape of the league. Who needs a backup point guard that can't shoot? There's not really too many teams in that type of market. That's why Peyton's only getting paid $5 million. So did I include the first yet? Yeah, let's include Dallas's first. And let's see if it goes through. This was recommended by D. Burr. Oh, he said a second? Oh, my fault. I'm putting words in your mouth. My bad. Well, let's remove that. Undo trade. Let's include Detroit. Because I don't mind giving up Detroit's pick if we can get and solve our starting point guard problem. Because then in this trade, we would still have our 2 first. Oh, yeah. Facts. Or we could use both first picks to move up in the draft. So, yeah, D. Bird, this trade would go through. He said, no, a second. My bad. Inf corrected me. Inf definitely corrected me. But the interesting thing about the Pelicans, though, is the fact that there's other players we could try to target. Like, if we want to expand this deal, would we want to take Lonzo Ball and Jackson Hayes? Jackson Hayes is a player that recently has starting to get more minutes. I think he played yesterday, right? March 13th, and he had a decent game. He had like 5 rebounds. I think he had 12 or 13 points. So I would be willing to bring in Jackson Hayes, and that could be our long-term solution to a backup center. And that would also give us a little bit of leverage when it comes time to re-signing Mitchell Robinson. Robert Paul says that there's no way we're drafting 3 picks this year. We're sending something off. That's a fact. Ron is saying Knox second at the most for Lonzo. So Ron, quick question. Austin Rivers is not really playing for us, so you wouldn't be okay with including him in the deal as well? Because right now Austin Rivers is not even with the team. Not saying that's due to his cause or because of him. He's having a personal thing that he has to deal with his family. But we're doing okay without him. He hasn't played in a while. I think we could include him in the deal as well. And Inf is saying we have to make the money work as well, which is spot on. And I didn't see how many wins it said that we would increase. 12. Oh, I'm wilding. I just did the trade with Jackson Hayes, and I ain't add anything else. I'm over here trying to finesse the Pelicans, because the Pelicans out here finessing teams. Somebody got to get them back. And if it's the Knicks, I'm with it. If it's the Knicks, I'm with it. So what would we have to give up to also bring back Jackson Hayes? Mm-hmm. See, but the thing is, I don't know if I want to give up Nerlens Noel just so soon because Hayes is a project, and Mitch is a project as well. So to have two projects without a veteran center on the roster, a veteran center that's going to give us more than Taj, you know. Well, Hayes is a project, and Nerlens Noel won't be here next season. At least I'm not expecting him to. So at some point, and they're both injury prone. So to have Jackson Hayes as some kind of insurance, if any of them go down, I think would be good because Mitch is hurt as we speak. Nerlens Noel has been in and out of the lineup, whether it be a knee. I think he had a back injury. So to have some kind of insurance for them is good. You want to see if it'll work? It'll go through. Luckily, Zion ain't making much money. Well, Zion isn't making much money relative to how much other NBA players make. We can get a project BU center in the draft. We could, but if we're not giving up any, yeah, if we're not giving up anything, we already see what Jackson Hayes can do in a short amount of time, and I like what he can bring. Yeah, we could try to draft a athletic backup center, but I would rather us package those two first round picks and then use them to then try to move up and get that one player that we know we need in order to fill up our starting lineup. So if we're getting Lonzo Ball in this trade, we've got point guard solidified. So if we can package the two first rounds that we have right now and we can move up to get like a small forward or get the small forward that this regime is confident in, then that would be a better move for me. Okay, so let's move on to that then, because I did promise that we would talk about a potential trade for Drummond. Where the Spurs at? I mean Aldridge. I mean me personally, I don't like acquisition of Aldridge, but if you guys want to see what a trade would look like, I got no problem pulling it up and showing you guys. So let's trade LaMarcus Aldridge. And what was the trade he said was probably going to get the deal done? He said Noel and Filler. Because last time we traded for who was it? Drummond, right? And it cost us Burks. It cost us who Knox and Noel. That's a lot to give up for DeRozan though. Oh, I'm sorry. The person at the top of the screen was DeRozan. It's been a long weekend. Yes, LaMarcus. Where's LaMarcus at? Where is he at? They don't even have him on the roster. Oh, I already traded him. See? All right. So who else are we going to? They said Iggy. You wanted to move Iggy? Noel and Iggy. Nerlens Noel. Trade to Spurs. Let's see if it'll go through. Yeah, salary. We'd have to add a little bit more. Iggy doesn't make enough. And I kind of want to keep Iggy. Why? What? What's wrong with Iggy? Inf doesn't like Iggy. He can shoot, and he been doing his thing in the G League. I mean, he didn't look great, when he played at what was it preseason, but I mean, I would like to continue to keep him and develop him down in the G League and see what he could become potentially. So let's see who else. Let's see if we can add Bullock. Go ahead. Yeah, DeRozan's gonna be a free agent next year. Him and LaMarcus are both out of there. You think? Inf is saying that he thinks DeRozan is a decent signing. Okay. I don't know if I agree, but at least this trade goes through. Yeah, I was trying to ignore Inf. He was talking about they can't hear you, so I get to run the show. Inf is over here trying to say we should sign the DeRozan. I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't know about all that. Because I know he's going to be a free agent. He's going to be a free agent that's going to be signed by another team, hopefully, not us. Not us. So this trade was a success. Nerlens Noel, Reggie Bullock, and Iggy will get it done to make this trade go through. Okay. Also, I saw some comments in there about Scary Terry. Let's go jump over to the Hornets real quick just to see. See, Roberto was saying he wouldn't go after Aldridge. Me neither. Yeah, Nudi is saying Iggy is what baseball calls a quadruple A player. Too good for the G League and good enough and not good enough for the big leagues. Yeah. Who's wilding? I would definitely try to get Jeremy Grant for Bullock, Obi, Knox. Please let me know if it's possible. He might be wilding. Im says you're wilding, Harold. But Harold, I'll do you a solid and I'll see if it'll go through. And I guess Inf and I will give our thoughts on it. Well, Inf already gave his thoughts on it. You just didn't hear him. So let's reset. Let's go to the Pistons. Also, chat, I just want to say thank you guys for sticking through, even though we're having the technical difficulties. Really appreciate it. Also, shout out to Clutch B-Ball TV. I just seen you pull up in the chat. Go check them out. Got a great channel over there. Thank you for the support, Clutch. Where I'm going, the Pistons, right? Well, I mean, I can kind of understand where he's going from, where he said he'd give up Obi. Right now, Obi isn't giving us much. So if we can bring in Jeremy Grant, that really solidifies that 3 position for us. It makes us a lot more competitive in the East. So I can understand where he's going with that mindset. I just don't know if I'm ready to give up Obi just yet, just because Tibbs isn't using him in the right way. That's true. That's true. Inf is saying that Obi has much more trade value, so he feels like we could probably get that deal done without having to include the 8th overall pick. Who else did I say we could throw in? Who else did I said? Obi, right? Yeah, what was it? Knox, Obi. Salute to Delano still. Thank you for pulling up and supporting the live stream. Definitely appreciate it. Ron also said Malik Monk. And find it for me real quick. Oh, and Reggie Bullock? All right, cool. Because I'm blind. Did I just look into the camera like I can't see? All right, let's see. Try trade. Okay, so it goes through, but it says we don't really get much better in the deal. No change in projected wins. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm shocked. Let me see. Let me get back into the chat real quick. Inf Delano still is saying shout out to you. Also, just in case you guys didn't know, having some technical difficulties, but we're trying to power through. If you're just pulling up to the chat. Jeremy is a beast. Yep, Jeremy's doing his thing out there. Delano was saying, can we trade Reggie Bullock, Burks, and cash considerations for Harrison Barnes? You know, cash considerations is always something interesting, because I always wondered how cash considerations really gets factored into the trade, because if that's the case, if I don't have cap room, can I just send some cash? That'd be a cheat code for the Knicks and the Lakers. So he said Bullock, Burks, or Barnes. I don't know if I want Barnes, though. Where's Barnes currently? Barnes is on the Kings, right? Oh, Inf is saying he would prefer Buddy Hield, so maybe we can look at a Buddy Hield trade real quick. All right, so Harrison Barnes. Barnes still has another 2 years on his deal, it looks like. And who are we giving up? Celino and Barnes, injury attorneys. If you're from New York, you know that jingle. Let me see. It was Bullock, Burks. Where's Burks? Where's Burks? Well, there's Bullock. Yeah. Fall from grace. He Michael Beasley. Beasley was a second overall pick too, right? Yeah. It's crazy if you look at how many second overall picks didn't amount to nothing. So yeah, this trade does go through. Anudi said Buddy Hield is too sensitive. Delano is saying he was around for Jacoby and Myers back in the day. That's another jingle. That's not too far back though, right? Ain't that like late 90s, early 2000s? Yo, bro, you got me feeling old. Oh, shout out to Harold Thompson. Thank you. Definitely appreciate the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Even the support, you know, I don't want to keep saying it too much, but the fact that you guys are staying and really helping to support and drive this live stream, it means a lot to both me and Inf. You could do like a little heart signal because you got sign language over there. Boom. It's like all the girls using that I love you filter. Shout out to Dripmore. What's good? Thank you for pulling up to the live stream. Right now, we're going through some trades. You guys can make suggestions in the chat. I'll be willing and open to pulling them up and seeing if they'll work. This one goes through for Harrison Barnes. I don't know if I would take Harrison Barnes, or like Inf said while we were having a meeting before the show, he would have liked Buddy Hield. So let's undo that trade and bring over Buddy Hield. Because with Buddy Hield, I made a video in the offseason before we started about a potential trade, because you know the team needs shooting. And if we were to go out there and get Buddy Hield, I think it would have benefited this team. Let's see. Yeah, Clutch is saying Buddy complains everywhere. Yeah, Delano was saying it was in the 90s. We should not sign Home Depot, Oladipo. Robert Paul said you did the burger eating sign. Oh, I'm telling you like you can't read. They're the ones that can't hear you, not the other way around. How could we get D'Lo? And also, before I get into that, D'Lo, D.Bird, honestly, I don't like any of these trades. Me too. I would probably target smaller moves, and maybe on Saturday, we'll probably do some smaller moves. But right now, we'll just focus on what the chat really wants to see if we can do. So I saw one saying, how could we get Oladipo, right? Oh, no, we're saying, how could we get D'Lo, like in D'Angelo Russell? Do we want D'Angelo Russell? Okay, you know, I'll entertain it. Inf is on your side, Kobe. Honestly, I should have let you rock. You got the name Kobe over there. So let's pull it up. Let's see. Let's go Timberwolves. I think he has 3 more years on his contract. He got traded after his first year. So he's owed 30 mil a year. So about 90 mil, I would assume. Yeah. So Chad, who would you be willing to give up for D'Angelo Russell? Yes, he does. He will answer the hole we have at point guard. So what would you include in a trade for D'Angelo Russell? Let me know down in the chat. How about Knoxville? Delano was saying, you know what the issue is with small moves? Too many teams are overpaying for role players, so the only reasonable contracts are rookie deals. Yeah, that's a good point. But with the way the economics are changing due to this pandemic, we don't know what's going to happen. If we're looking at football, I know it's a different cap structure over there. I mean, I know it's a different structure over there when it comes to contract, but you're seeing a lot of players that aren't going to get the contracts that they were usually getting in the offseason. So we'll see. But for D'Angelo Russell, Inf, what do you think we would have to give up for Russell? What did the Timberwolves give up? They gave up Andrew Wiggins. That's nothing much to me. They gave up their first top 3 protected, because the Warriors have that if it's top 3. No, I think they have it if it falls out of the top 3. I can't remember which one. I think it should tell us. Who could we give up? And we have to make the salary match, because right now you're looking at 30 mil, right? Let's just go through the spare parts. Let's say we give up Alfred Payton. He agrees to go to live in Minnesota for some reason. No disrespect to Minnesota. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. Even though, as we saw in previous games, I don't think Frank is really the option at point guard for us. He's off ball now. He should be strictly off ball. Why Tibbs was starting him at point guard in the first place was beyond me. But, facts. You have to throw in Knox. And then who else? Well, I think that's it. To me, that's a lot right there in itself. But then you go, maybe I'm just trying to swindle the trade. Let's see. Will it go through? Oh, we got worse. That's crazy. We get worse. Well, then again, Russell's injured, though. Maybe that's playing a factor, because I think D'Angelo Russell's out right now. So maybe that's playing a factor, but that's crazy. We really get worse if we were to make this trade. At all. Yeah, true. Let's see. Somebody is saying, let's get Lonzo and Big Cat. Yeah, how? Yeah, we don't have the money for that. We'd have to give up Randall. We'd have to give up Randall, RJ, just to make the money work. Because Cat's contract is crazy too. Oh, let's go through, since we're already here, let's just go through a Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Let me know what you guys would be willing to trade in the comments or in the chat with a potential Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Because I think he's another player that might demand 2-3 first-round picks. I mean, he's only making 30 mil. I keep saying he's only making 30 mil, like they're not making stupid money. Right? I just feel weird to say he's only making 30 mil. But then you look at other stars that are making 45, and as a fan, you're like, yeah, we'll take the 30 mil. All right. Who would we have to give up? You'd want to pair him with, you'd probably have to give up Obi off rip, I would think. If you want to keep RJ. Yeah, I thought I was a swindler. Inf is a swindler. Inf just said he'd give up who? Obi, Mitch. No, who you said? Say it again. I don't want to get you. He said he'd give up a first round, a second round, Mitch, and Knox. I'd give that up too, but they're not about to do that. They are not about to do that. They'd be crazy. They'd be out there in pitchforks. But then again, that front office is in disarray, and they're trying to sell a team. So maybe the Knicks can kind of use that to their advantage. There's all kinds of drama going over there with Minnesota. All kinds of drama. RJ is untouchable. Yep, I believe RJ is untouchable with what he's shown so far throughout this season. Oh, somebody else wrote that too. BX Bull. Oh, that's you. I forgot. Obi is not trash. Yeah, Obi is not trash. I think he's just being used in ways that don't amplify his skills, don't amplify his talents. He's being used as a pick and pop for, which is something he can build to his game, but it's not something he should be doing for the majority of the game. He should be attacking the basket, getting some looks, and get him finishing around the rim. Delano was saying if Karl-Anthony Towns can keep the offensive abilities and turn into a competent defender like Mitchell Robinson, I would trade for him. But since he doesn't, I'm not trading for Cat. To be honest, if you just flip that, that's what we're all waiting for Mitchell Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson can keep his defensive abilities and turn into a competent scorer on offense, then we'd have the perfect fit for our team right now. But unfortunately, Mitch is out, and we can't really get him the time on the court to really develop his game right now. Block really saying Obi is trash. It's a good thing you on mute, bro. Should I share with the chat what you just said? But my question is, should I share? I'm trying to save you, so should I share what you said to the chat? I'm trying to save you. All right, chat. If this decided to get bold because his camera don't work, he said we should trade RJ for Anthony Edwards. He's bugging. I haven't seen nearly enough from Anthony Edwards in the few games he's played to say we should move him for RJ. So you think in the long run he'll be better than RJ, even with the fact that RJ is shooting damn near 50% from both the field and three in like the last 20 some odd games. Okay, 12 games. All right. Ron wants to know, are you a low-key Nets fan? Nah, he's not a Nets fan. He just really likes Anthony Edwards for some reason. I mean, Anthony Edwards is cool. He's cool, but I like what I'm seeing from RJ. If RJ continues to shoot like this, RJ has the ability to be the best out that draft. If he continues to shoot 50% from the field, 50% from three, if he could, and then 74% from the free throw line, if he can do that consistently, well, he's not going to do that consistently, let's be real. But if he can fall back and hover around that 35, 36% percent from three, he's going to be a problem. He could be if he keep them numbers up. I'm lying. Chat, am I lying? Do you think if RJ continues to perform at this clip and continues to get better and better, you don't think he has a possibility of being the best in that draft? I think, Ja is explosive. Ja is a great player. Zion is explosive. Zion is a great player, but Ja has already missed some time due to injury. Zion has missed almost a season due to injury. So those two things are something you're going to have to watch as those two players' careers move on. But I think RJ has been in almost every game, and RJ is slowly coming into and finally understanding what his role on this team is. And that's to be the second option behind Julius Randle, and he's feeding off Julius Randle now. So now that he has his role and he knows what he's supposed to do, what the team is asking for him night in and night out, I think that's why we're starting to see him blossom. D. Beer is saying RJ is going to be elite. Yeah, hopefully he'll get better. I got faith in him. Girls are nuts 1313 is saying build around Robinson. He is good, even just if it is just for points and well. Oh. Points are a bonus. JR and Obi also untouchable. Just wait till next year. Not worth it for a loss in the first round. And yep, that's what I've been saying time and time on the channel. But people have been saying that, there are some moves to be made. So I just wanted to look at some of the moves with you guys and see what you guys thought that the Knicks could potentially do and what trades they could try to pursue. Me personally, I've been saying time and time again, I think the Knicks should relax, try to make a small move, whether that be maybe a flyer on JJ Redick just to get a little bit more shooting on the team. But I don't think we have to do anything big right now. This is the first year of the legit rebuild where we're figuring out what we have on this roster. And once we figure that out, then this offseason we can start to survey the free agent landscape, and then we can try to look and see what players could be available via trade. I think we can be a lot more flexible with our moves in the offseason as opposed to in the middle of the season. Yeah, Adam Gatson, just to give you a heads up, we're having some technical difficulties over here. So Inf has been muted for pretty much the entire live stream. So we've been working through it. You guys have been helping us move the show along, and we both greatly appreciate it. Anudi 25 is saying Edward is Harold Miner. Throwback play, Inf. I'll school you after the live stream. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. They wouldn't have known. I forgot you were muted. Also, somebody said Obi has dancing feet or dancer legs. Like, he's very jittery on defense. Like, I was reviewing him in one of the film studies, and he doesn't slide his feet. Everything is like a jump hop. He's just hopping from side to side. And that's why he's really not good out there on the perimeter when he's playing defense. He really has to, Tibbs is a defensive coach. You got to sit him to the side and say, bro, you got to slide your feet, because if not, you're going to hurt yourself. Also, chat, make sure you're smashing that like button to be greatly appreciated. Block 53 said Obi has been on mute the whole season. Him and Kevin Knox. Yo, what's going on? Why? I don't understand. Knox played 2 minutes, knocked down a 3. I bet you we won't see him next game. With the injuries, they definitely are going to have to make some moves. If we were healthy coming into this second half of the season, and I think we would have had enough to at least get into the playoffs. I know things are pretty tight right now with the playoff race, but if we get these players back, if we get Mitch back with enough time for him to get acclimated and get back up to speed, I think we have enough to be playoff contenders. It's just going to be how soon do we get these players back, and are the Knicks going to have to make a drastic move? I don't think it's going to require a drastic move, but maybe we can do a small signing, like maybe like Kyle Quinn to add to our big man rotation. But we really need an upgrade at the 3. But I think a trade right now might cost too much. So I'd rather them just stand pat. What you call it? If they're saying have you restart and get back on. But the thing is, on my end, it's showing that the audio from Inf is coming through. I just don't know why it's not getting connected to the stream. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. So that means your mic is on. So why it's not connecting to OBS? Always OBS. I feel like we always come on, well, not we, but I feel like creators come on here and we always throw OBS under the bus. OBS be tweaking, bro. We gotta call out. I gotta shoot an email to OBS and see if they'll respond to me. Like, yo, you gotta get this right. Set me up. Let's get Josh Hart from New Orleans. I like Josh Hart. I think he's a solid player too. What? Let me. All right. I'll hold it down for a little bit more. Thank you for pulling up and sticking through. Really appreciate it, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be yeah. Well, I'll just do the Josh Hart, and then I'll probably wrap up too. All right, bro. I'll holler at you. Chat Inf is saying good night. Well, let's go back to the Pelicans. I feel like we're already on the Pelicans. Yeah. So Josh Hart trade to the Knicks, and Josh Hart doesn't really cost too much. Shout out to Pre and Z. Thank you for pulling up to the live stream. Who would it cost us to make an acquisition for Josh Hart? Like Josh Hart, he's on an expiring deal, so I really wouldn't want to trade too much for him. Maybe, mm, maybe Frank Diddy gets it done. Frank Diddy's another expiring contract. Let's see if we can get it done with Frank Diddy. Hmm. And we get 3 wins better. So Josh Hart would be a nice acquisition. Definitely. Anuda, you a clown. Inf got muted for saying trade RJ for Edwards. He should have. But shout out to the homie Inf. Thanks for him pulling up and hosting the podcast with me. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up as well. Thank you guys for holding it down. I'm gonna make sure that this isn't an issue for the next stream. Try to figure out what's going on. Thank you guys for helping to drive the show, and you guys had some very good, trade possibilities, some good trade proposals. So we're gonna try to do this again on Saturday. I'm gonna set up some of my own trades, and I want to get your opinions on them. I'm also gonna work with Inf. He can present some trades as well because next Saturday the trade deadline will be about 4 days away. So we may hear some more news, and we may have a better idea of where the Knicks are gonna go during this not off season, at the trade deadline, especially with the big game against the Nets tomorrow. That may alter how the front office thinks. D. Burr says, tell Inf hands off for RJ. I got you, bro. So once again, thank you guys for pulling up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We go live weekends at 8. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Quis. This is the Knicks State of Mind podcast, and we're out. Well, I'm out.